Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. I'm so glad you're joining us today. If you're an HR pro, a wellness coordinator, or just someone who truly cares about the health of your team, you're in exactly the right spot. Let's be real. Getting your team hyped about a health initiative can sometimes feel like an uphill battle, especially compared to, say, free office donuts, right? But today, we're taking the super detailed July 2026 HealthWorks calendar and distilling it right down into a focused, highly actionable workplace strategy. We're going to transform a basic list of dates into a dynamic playbook you can use to genuinely support your people.
So, I've got to ask, is your workplace health strategy actually ready for July? It's really easy to just look at July as another flip of the calendar page. Especially here in Australia, it's that cold, quiet winter month where, honestly, most of us just want to hibernate under a blanket. But when we talk about workplace wellness, July is absolutely your critical mid-year catalyst. When that mid-year slump hits, coffee alone isn't going to save your team's productivity. It's that exact moment where employee well-being can either totally tank or, with the right strategy, absolutely thrive and set an amazing tone for the rest of the year.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with a welcome to July well-being, look at month-long health challenges, dive into managing chronic conditions, touch on mental health and well-being, build your workplace action plan, and finally, wrap up with your next steps.
Welcome to July Well-Being, the Mid-Year Catalyst.
Moving right along to Section 2, Month-Long Health Challenges, July's ongoing focus.
Listen, if you wait until July 1st to even think about your wellness initiatives, you're already behind. To effectively allocate your resources and avoid initiative fatigue among your staff, month-long campaigns are fantastic because they give us this incredible, sustained momentum. And this brilliantly illustrates two very different yet equally powerful approaches we see in July. On one hand, we've got Dry July. This is fundamentally about abstaining. It's a challenge of elimination where people give up alcohol. But on the flip side, we have July Eye. This is all about proactive action. Instead of taking something away, it's about actively booking that eye check and prioritizing vision health. Balancing these two totally distinct mindsets is absolutely crucial. It ensures you're engaging everybody on your team from the very first day of the month all the way to the 31st.
Now for Section 3, Managing Chronic Conditions, Key Awareness Weeks.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing how July is actually punctuated by these targeted, consecutive weeks dedicated to managing and understanding chronic conditions. This is exactly where your workplace education needs to shift from just general wellness advice to highly impactful, specific support. Look at how this flows. The month kicks off right away with Kidney Action Week from the 1st to the 7th. Then, mid-month, we move into National Diabetes Week running from the 12th to the 18th. And as we close out July, we actually have overlapping campaigns. We've got Donate Life Week starting on the 26th, right alongside National Pain Week kicking off on the 27th. Seeing this packed timeline really highlights why you absolutely need a well-paced communication schedule.
Let's put a special spotlight on National Diabetes Week for a second, sitting right there in the middle of the month. You might be wondering, why spotlight diabetes specifically? Well, managing blood sugar directly impacts daily workplace energy, focus, and overall cognitive function. And honestly, there's often a huge lack of awareness in offices about how to best support team members who are managing it. So this isn't just a basic calendar entry, folks. It's a very real productivity and team care challenge, and it requires targeted solutions to build a genuinely supportive environment.
Okay, Section 4, Mental Health and Well-Being, Supporting Your Team.
So physical health, things like vision checks and diabetes awareness, that's really only half of the workplace equation. Emotional and mental well-being are just as critical if you want a truly thriving team. First, we have World Wellbeing Week, which overlaps the end of June and potentially early July. Then, right alongside Diabetes Week, we have Birth Trauma Awareness Week from the 13th to the 19th. This is a highly specific, deeply important issue for so many working parents. And finally, July features Stress Down Day. Detailing these specific dates really just shows the truly holistic range of employee support we need to be offering. It's not just about, generalized stress. It's about acknowledging complex life events and promoting real psychological safety for everyone.
Let's move to Section 5, Workplace Action Plan, from Awareness to Action.
Look, simply dropping a list of calendar dates into a company newsletter, that's awareness, for sure, but it is definitely not action. If you're an HR pro or a manager listening to this is the moment to gather your wellness committee, pull up a chair, and really brainstorm. By using this explainer and the 2026 calendar as your blueprint, you can translate these dates into tangible programs that literally get your team out of their chairs and actively participating. Collaborative planning is the secret sauce. It's how you turn static dates into real, engaging initiatives that actually resonate with your specific company culture.
So, the crucial point is that the source material connects the dots beautifully for us right here. For the month-long July Eye campaign, the exact recommended action is to facilitate vision checks. Simple, right? And for National Diabetes Week, it explicitly recommends organizing workplace heart checks and healthy heart seminars. Now, you might be thinking, wait, why heart checks for Diabetes Awareness Week? It's because cardiovascular disease is actually one of the leading, yet frequently overlooked, complications of diabetes. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here or have a medical degree. These strategic, highly effective pairings are right there in the data for us to use.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 6, your next steps, implementing the July strategy.
As we all know, knowledge is only power if you actually apply it. Let's move to and see how this builds into a chronological action plan you can execute today to make sure your workplace is fully prepped before July 1st even rolls around. Step 1. Reach out to your local optometrist or mobile health clinics right now to book those vision checks for July Eye. Step 2. Source a medical provider to organize on-site workplace heart checks to align with National Diabetes Week mid-month. And Step 3. Secure a speaker or health professional to schedule those healthy heart seminars. See, by breaking it all down into these exact steps, your planning suddenly becomes incredibly manageable.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Which July initiative will you champion first? Are you going to tackle the month-long vision checks, or maybe focus on those targeted heart health seminars? You've got the structured data, you've got the action steps, and now you've got the power to completely transform your workplace's mid-year well-being. Take this playbook, choose your starting point, and go make a measurable difference in your team's health today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.